Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Eat, Sleep, Suplex, Retweet.
Welcome everybody to a very special episode of Saturday Draft Live, and you know it's a special episode because we may not be here on a Saturday, but we are live, so it does balance it out a little bit. I am your host for today, Scott McLeod, and we're here because last night at the Royal Rumble, it was the finale of Season 7. And last night we saw a man fight for his dreams. He fought for something that everybody said was impossible. He was once an 11-time champion, and he fought hard to get his 12th reign, winning against all odds. It came right down to the wire. And I, of course, mean that on this day, I can tell you that I, Scott McLeod, won last night's Season 7. I am the second ever two-time winner. Second time, a two-time winner, 2-2. I've got a Desmond. Happy days are here again. We'll dive into that in a second, give you all the results of Season 7 before picking the teams for the first ever tag team season of the draft. First off, commiserations to the man sitting here, David Hockney. I really thought it was your team to win. I was as surprised as anyone, but
yeah. All I can say is I think we can both agree that we've both been screwed over by the Usos in this instance now.
Yeah, we're both screwed by the fact that them not showing up. I thought it was weird that Jimmy didn't show up, but it was a hell of a night. Jack Graham, you are here as well, as always, lovely as ever. How are you feeling?
I'm doing all right. I'm just, I'm happy that, obviously, Season 7's by there. Scott, you just won that. Season 6, I was winner there. That means, we need to keep this train going. This back-to-back times, this draft title ends up in the hands of the STL boys, and long may it continue. And I won't lie, Scott, I thought that you didn't get as much consideration for winning this season. All the eyes are on David, on Grant, on Ryan, on whoever it was, but you weren't really in that. You were thereabouts, but you've completely outshone everyone. So Scott, well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
Yep. It all comes down to, it can just come down to one pay-per-view, and the Royal Rumble, as we saw from last year, is a massive scoring event, and your team was just in the right place at the right time, scoring big points all round. So fair play to you, Scott.
Yeah, because I had Big E and Riddle, and I couldn't have even predicted how well they would be booked in last night's Rumble, and also Sasha winning really helped. But,
Riddle was a massive point scorer for you. He did so much better than I anticipated.
I was a bit annoyed when they didn't officially announce the US title match, but he kind of made up for it. Mm-hmm. And as you know, as the winner of the draft season, you get a title shot at the SSR title. Although I'll have to hold on for a bit because last night, Ross McLeod's decision to make the sweepstakes, all about the Rumble matches themselves proved to be a bit of a cock-up, as we ended on a four-way tie of Grant McRobbie, Sarah Greaves, Steven Strack, and Stephen Wilson, which will not be settled until TakeOver, which means I need to wait until then to get my title shot. So I say to those four, enjoy your four-way, and whoever holds it, keep it warm for me, because I'm going for 12. Boo to you, Stephen. You're the one who said I would win. He's the one who on Saturday said I would win.
I mean, what's happened in the space of literally just one day? I lost my opportunity to become a two-time draft winner when I basically had it within an arm's reach, and now I've lost the SSR title. Back to square one.
You slap with the right hand and the left hand, Dave. Well, a fish to go along with that as well.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to figure out what Christopher Biggins has done to David Campbell to. It's longer than Chris Jericho's, I'm assuming, at this point. But as I said, usually we talk about top threes and picks for next season. We're not going to do that because it's a different kind of setup. Plus, we're doing it in teams. We don't know who we're going to get paired with. We don't want to give other people ideas. Screw them. Our ideas are between us and whoever we're paired with.
I'm a disappointment.
Don't pay attention to them. We're still proud of you. Nothing wrong with Silver.
You know what? That's the silver lining. You kept it within Saturday Draft Live, Scott. So you pat yourself on the back for that one.
Thank you. I will. we're going to break down what the final top 10 looked like. Talk about Purgatory, who inevitably won that battle, and then we'll go to you, Dave, for the Listeners League winner.
Mhm.
The final scores on the doors were Strack ended the season in last place. But his first season, he'll hopefully do better because I struggled my first couple of seasons. 113 points, Derek. 134. Jack, I've said it before. It seems like you win one season, then you have a bit of a mare the next season because you finished in 8th, 135 points. I want to say I'm not disappointed, but
Let's talk about it. Let's address this. So obviously, I won the season before. Obviously, a hampering on the blight of Daniel Campbell not changing his captain led me to win. You know, I'm not shying away from that, but I won. That was it in the days. But this season I had 12 folk come to draft at the same time. I was the biggest amount of folk come to draft at the same time. I had a draft from last, and I was like, you know what? I'm not getting anyone good. I'm just going to be a meme. I'm just going to joke about this. I get Leon Ruff. I take Lana. I take Paul Heyman and all sorts. And I had a couple of good picks, you know, Cody and Shawsey, you'd think. But I just joked it. And to think that I got more points than a wee handful of folk, I'm happy. I'll take it. Knowing that I can joke and do better than some, I'm all right.
You forget Daniel.
I acknowledge that you would have been better if you just made the right captaincy change, but hey,
Can I
wonder
just-
behind the curtain
can I just-
today
can I
is Daniel Campbell.
Can I just point out as well, Jack? I believe you're actually the first player in ESSR draft history to be the last person to draft and actually finish higher than the person who drafted first, which was Derek.
well, that's an achievement in itself.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's an itself.
But yeah, we should say Daniel Campbell, thank you, Dan, for producing this. He will be presenting us later on with the Wheel of Doom to decide at random who everybody's team is going to be. You're welcome.
No, Pascal.
Stephen
bother yet.
Wilson finished in 740. Bianca Belair really gave a strong finish for Kwaku that he didn't have to finish last, 146 and a half. We talked about Bianca and Alexa and, you know, Kevin Owens being long shots for him, but then what a finish for Kwaku, you know, not finishing last, even though he said not to continue with this season. I'm sure he was smiling from ear to ear.
Mhm.
You still have this ominous thing with Kraken. He left that message for us in the show, and he was like, "I'm not going to be in the draft, but I'm still going to be in the draft." I'm still spooked by what's happening with that. I don't know what's going on. I still don't know what's going on here.
It's like a game of Among Us. He's been killed off and now he's coming back as a ghost.
I was going to say he's more like Don Callis, but okay. But Ross finishes 163, Ryan 183. Ryan, again, as we said, had a really strong team. He was a real outside bet. David, you went down a 185 in third place. Gary had 185 and a half, mainly thanks to Drew McIntyre and also Rhea Ripley coming up as the runner-up in the draft. And I finished 208 and a half points. And again, I still can't believe I'm reading that out. Like I had a bit of fun at the start. I legit was not expecting this. I made peace with the fact I wasn't winning. I don't know.
You know what was even more frustrating? You know what was more frustrating is that Gary pinched second place for me by half a point. Like, you know, as if I hadn't already been beat around the bush enough. You know, that's the exclamation point.
Well, we did talk about that, how much of a push would Gary get from Rhea Ripley. And I think Stephen was right, that wasn't enough to get him in first, but still managed to finish 1 second, which is no small feat as well, given that he was like fourth before. And I know David Cameron goes on about it, but Gary, I think, will eventually win a season. Will it be next season? Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But
that's the second time he's come second.
And, you know, Dave, I think I'll get to you a bit. Maybe you change your captaincy, Jason may have affected you, but I don't know if it would have mattered because Asuka lost in the pre-show, which I think would have actually been worse for you.
Yeah, that's why I said on the last show is that, you know, I took the captaincy off Asuka, knowing that, you know, if she continued her losing streak this week, then I would actually end up losing more points. So I changed the captaincy purely for the sake of not losing as many. And Jey Uso did very clearly on SmackDown a few weeks ago said he was going to be in the Royal Rumble, and did he show up? Did he fuck?
I remember like we were getting down to the wire the last couple of entrants. I thought, Jey Uso's not going to be number 30, is he? That'd be so underwhelming if Jey Uso was number 30. I know Ross wrote this whole article, but not really being so attached to number 30. But then was Braun Strowman. Yeah, I legit forgot he existed before then, even though he returned 2 days ago. But well, first before we go into the Purgatory, Jack, you must be delighted. I made reference to the Royal Rumble winner, the Men's Rumble winner that is in Edge. I'm sure you must have been delighted to see that.
Oh, I was so happy. I think I said to Dave before the Rumble began that I was wanting to hedge a bet on Edge winning the match, but then obviously he got on that backstage thing. He's like, oh, he's going to be number one, and I was like, oh, he'll be Iron Man, he won't win it then. So I put it on Daniel Bryan. But colour me stupid, ain't that right? But I'm so happy. I'm so happy Edge won. I'm a big Edge head. Have been since day one of watching wrestling. It's what he's a person that got me into wrestling. I'm so glad that he's back. He's made his comeback, and he's won the Rumble, and he had a good performance. I can't wait. Is he going to be someone that's drafted next season? Who knows?
Well, both Royal Rumble winners were first round picks last year, so I wouldn't rule out the possibility of them going either in round one or at the very least round two.
Yeah, that's the thing about this particular season, and that usually it's the top champions that are like first round picks, but sometimes, especially this season, the Rumble winners take priority over them, because obviously the feeling is they're probably going to get the push to Mania and have a big finish and win the title. Who would have thought 2021 a first round pick is Edge of all people? Because I think Ross or some of that last year when Edge made his return took a punt on Edge, even that, and thought, oh, that's a punt. He's not going to appear that often, and yet now he's probably going to be the hottest commodity going into this season.
I don't think he'll have.
You got to think though about how often will he wrestle? That's the thing between now and Mania. But it could still be worth your shot. You know what I mean? It's a Rumble one at the end of the day. You've got that guaranteed main event title match. You could get big points come the end of the Mania season. So it's always worth a gamble.
But lads, let's be honest. Nobody cares that I won. People want to know what happened with Purgatory. People want to know what happened with David Campbell constantly posting videos on our community page, which we are live on, as well as YouTube. So make sure to leave your comments if you so please. But I had the final results for Purgatory here. Obviously, everything David Campbell had was based on Bayley winning, and obviously Braun Strowman came back. I was like number 30. The final scores are David Campbell, 127 points. Grant McRobbie, 143 points. The gap, sadly, was not small enough. Grant McRobbie held lead for the majority of the season, and he kept it. And now Grant McRobbie and whoever he is drawn with will pick first in season 8. The actual pick of the teams will happen later in the week. We'll be live once again, and whoever is paired with me, basically we had to pick last. Although it won't be as bad as when Jack had to pick last, as there'll be half the people available because we were paired in teams. But I think we all were all over the group chat when Bayley got eliminated, and the camera missed it. To be fair, that was annoying. But
yeah.
You can pinpoint the exact moment David Campbell's heart broke in half.
It's a shame. It was. I think obviously a lot of Grant's team wasn't Rumble based, and it was clear that's what David was looking for.
I was timing my watch. I'll set my watch to when is he gonna leave a comment. He said himself it was always going to be tough, so he went and looked at so far as to the Rumble, and that's why he took the likes of Bayley and Braun Strowman, for example. But it didn't pay off for him, and Grant, taking Kenny Omega, your new AEW World Heavyweight Champion, having good picks on a Wednesday night, ultimately got him that win at Purgatory at the end of the day. I think the night started off well for David because Nia and Shayna, his tag team, regaining the tag team titles. Maybe a captaincy on them would have been better off with that title win. But yeah, Bayley didn't.
Well, Nia and Shayna actually did break into the top 10 because of that when they finished the season in 8th place in the top 10 with 48 points. And they've just scored as the highest newcomer in this draft. So, I mean, it's been a good result for them, even though they've been a bit of a slow burner through the whole season.
You should acknowledge Grant Robbie saying the darkness has been defeated. I know I say to keep the title within SDL, but we've now declared East meets West the winner, showed the draft winner and the Purgatory winner. Co-hosts of the same show. New episode of that coming in a couple of weeks. So yeah, Grant McRobbie has won Purgatory, but we've got one more league to get to before we get to the good stuff and get to the unknown of the teams being picked. David, who came out on top of the Listeners League?
Well, I'll tell you what, Scott, it was quite a race to the finish, if I do say so, but I'll give the final standings as they are now. So, unfortunately, finishing last was Ryan Dalglish with the socially distanced stable on 116 points.
The people's representative. He's won the hearts of everyone in that fan listeners league. They knew it was all doom and gloom, but we've created a group chat for this listeners league that's going to be coming up next season, because it's going to be like over 20 folk, and everyone loves Ryan Dalglish. You know what? I love Ryan Dalglish too. Won the hearts of everyone, Ryan. Come on.
Well, he did have Damien Priest in his team, who did put in a good Rumble performance. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough, and he was sort of held back by
Damien Priest.
He was sort of held back by Alexa Bliss and Sami Zayn, who put in rather poor performances. So, unfortunately, Ryan gets the wooden spoon in the Listeners League this time. 6th place, we have Mark Hume on You Done Goofed, 147 points. A bit of a jump there. He's sort of been on the lower end of the table too, but AJ Styles, Braun Strowman, and a loss for Kevin Owens as well is what really hurt him the most. 5th place, Tom Brock and the Royal Boys with 166 points. Overall, Tom Brock, he was had a bit of an up and down season. He had Kenny Omega as his captain. He had Bianca Belair as the Rumble winner, so that certainly helped him out. He also had Kevin Owens, which I think is what let him down in the end. But all in all, not a bad performance. 4th place, Gary Morris with Quizzy Rascals, 180 points. Drew McIntyre as his captain is what carried him this season. And he also had Rhea Ripley, who came in as runner-up for this year's Rumble. Not too bad overall, but was let down primarily by Jon Moxley and Santos Escobar. Now we're going to our top 3. 3rd place, bronze medal, Alan Laurie with no team name given on 201.5 points. Doing better than most of us in the main league here. But Alan, he's had a pretty solid season all around. Like you, Scott, he had Sasha Banks, he had Big E, he had the Street Profits. But again, also Kevin Owens keeps coming back up, and that's what seems to be what has caused a few of our listeners to drop a few points this season. But all in all, Alan held his own and finishes on a high with over 200 points. But I can reveal that 2nd place with 221 points is Colshi's Elite Team from Colin Blackburn. Very strong performance thus far, but the winner...
Winners up sticking together.
But the winner, as predicted on the last episode of Saturday Draft Live, which I made a prediction on, it is Robert Shaw and the Jesters with 231 points. It was very close between these two for some time, but Robert Shaw just edges away with a 10-point gap ahead of Colin. So not by no means a clean sweep. This was a competitive race between these two, and Robert just pulled out in the end. Drew McIntyre again was his team captain. He was being carried most of the way. He had Rhea Ripley too as the Royal Rumble runner-up, and also a surprisingly high scorer this season, Johnny Gargano, with his interactions on NXT in the way. I think that's what was the contributing factor for him. Plus, his tag team was the Street Profits, who, as we know, had a fantastic year all round. So, fair play to Robert Shaw. He's actually scored the highest out of everybody, not just in the main league or in Purgatory. He tops the lot. And now Robert is going to be a part of the Season 8 main league with the rest of us here on the pod. So that's been our Season 7 Listeners League, and we hope to continue this on in the following season. Back to you, Scott.
Thank you. But I did say on Saturday that probably would come to the impact of Rhea Ripley, because, you had, they both had Dakota Kai, Colin, I believe, had Tony Storm and Matt Riddle, who had decent performances. Randy Orton was the runner-up in the men's Rumble, even though he buggered off for a while. But I did say it would come down to how Rhea Ripley performs. I think the fact that she had quite a few eliminations, I think she had maybe the most eliminations in the Women's Rumble, and then finished runner-up, is what edged it for Robert, because going into the show, Colin was actually in first and Robert was second. And as I said, also they had Drew both as their captain, so his retention over Goldberg wouldn't have affected them either way, because they both either would have gained or lost points. But we want to welcome Robert into this league. We look forward to seeing who he gets paired with, who he fares in this style of drafting, and not also the way that the Listeners League usually does it, which some people have criticised. You know who you are. And we are going to continue with a lot more people. We're growing this Listeners League season on season. But guys, I think we know what everyone's really here for. Mm-hmm. They're not really here for our usual analysis. They want to see the wheel. So Daniel, if you would please, like they're on a game show, please bring out the Wheel of Doom. So whoever we're going to spin it now, and whoever it lands on, this is going to be Grant McRobbie's partner, and this is going to be the team that picks first later in the week. So say it with me, lads. Spin
that wheel.
And Grant
Oh my
McRobert's
God.
partner
It is.
is
Oh my God, is it going to be me? Oh no, it's Gary.
Gary.
Gary
Yeah, man.
Sheridan.
Very
There you
nearly
go.
me.
The
There you
two
go.
G's, Gary and Grant, together,
G-
they're going to pick from number 1.
G-force.
Three jeans, double G's. Oh,
There we go. That's our first team, Gary and Grant together. I know
Mhm.
David Campbell will be upset about that because he will have wanted to be paired with Gary. I should mention my name is not on the board because whoever is the last name remaining at the end will team with me and pick last. So, time to settle our next team. Oh,
Gary was a very popular person to be people wanting to team with, but he's off the board straight away.
I tell you, see this team straight away. Obviously, we've said before, Gary's someone that's due to win this draft soon, and Grant's always someone that's drafted in a high position, and Grant's knowledge kind of outside WWE, but Gary kind of mainly going for those WWE picks. This is already like your team to beat. Just even looking at it on paper, I'll look at this and I'm worried.
you think about it, Grant always seems to get to pick high. Like his first season, he picked first. In Purgatory, he got picked third because of the Renaissance Wheel. Now he's back in first again alongside Gary. Like even before they've even picked a team, I'm already thinking them as the team to beat. But we've got other teams to be picked.
Yes.
So let's spin the wheel
Spin
one more time.
that wheel.
And here we go. Music.
Here we go. It's
Oh.
it's Strack. Gus.
Just
Right on the line.
Right on the line. Okay, Strack returning. Hopefully he'll do better this season. But who will Strack's partner be as he hopes to finish higher in the table in season 8? Let's see who it is. Let's spin the wheel and make a deal.
Let's make a deal. What is this? Price is Right?
No, I'm doing like the NXT one.
All right, and it's gonna be
And a returning
Sarah
Grieve.
historic.
Sarah returns alongside Strack. What an interesting team this should make.
This should be very interesting.
The two G's and the two S's. It's coming up in a nice partnership here.
Oh, you know what? This means I'm gonna get paired with Goat because we're both Davids.
Was it season? I'm pretty sure, if I recall, season 3 might have been theirs last season because it does feel like a while. And she's also going to hope to make an impact upon her return. Strack's going to probably want to make up for the season they had here. He wasn't happy with his first season.
Yeah, Sarah's last season was season 3. Yeah.
No, David, we haven't done enough because we're going to spin one more time as the field starts to thin out. You guys
Let's
are
keep
still
going.
without partners. Let's spin the wheel.
Hey, anybody will be lucky to be paired with us because we're all winners here. And it's our Listeners League winner, Robert.
Oh,
Interesting.
Robert Shaw, you're up next, mate, and let's see who you're going to be paired with. Who is going to have the responsibility of teaming with the Listeners League winner? I know who I want it to be.
Same.
It's going to be.
Oh, let's make it happen. Come on.
Come on. Oh, please be.
Welcome to the big time, Robert Shaw.
Make it happen. Make it happen.
You are teamed with David Hockney.
Hey, welcome to the team, Robert. You've got a winner on your hands here.
Like I say, you finished third, but you had a strong season. You've won it before. Multiple time he is our champion. This is a good partnership. I think, Robert, some people underestimate him because of the way the Listening League is formatted. So
I finished third in the last 2 seasons. I've won one before, and I would finish third in season 2 as well. I'm always a top half table contender. I think me and Robert are going to absolutely smash it this time around.
I don't think there's a better person for Robert to be teamed with for his introduction into the draft for next season under the tutelage of one David Hockney. So he's got himself a good teammate there.
Oh, and I know the GOAT is breathing a sigh of relief that he doesn't have to. The rest of this wheel.
But I'm still on it, Stephen. I'm still on it.
You've got Stephen, you've got Jack, both winners still to choose from, and the GOAT's also a winner too.
More than half of this table is former winners. You got the GOAT, you got Jackie, you got Stephen on this.
So it's more like Ross and Ryan are in for a good position here.
Maybe. Let's see who they get. Let's spin the wheel one more time. Oh, I'm getting excited. I want to see who I'm left with.
All right, up next.
It's gonna be Ryan.
Ryan Gallagher.
All right, Ryan.
Again, he's had some very good seasons these last few times. He's finished 4th this time. He was 3rd last season, although he did have an absolute stinker when he picked Indu Share as his tag team.
That's one mistake he's definitely not going to make again, and neither is his partner, whoever that's going to be. We'll find out now. Like I said, we've got 4 Ross and a bunch of former draft winners. Let's see who it's going to be.
So we have Ryan and... is it going to be some R&R, or is it going to be a bit of Gallagher and Goat? It's going to be the latter.
Gallagher and the Goat. There you go, Ryan. You're paired with a former draft winner. He's going to carry you all the way.
Team green and white.
Oh, so there's a 1 in 3rd chance, Jackie boy, that me and you could get paired together. Or it could be the two ends. Or it could be the brothers of Draftstruction getting paired together.
David Campbell's very happy that he's been teamed with Ryan Gallagher.
That is going to be...
Yeah, Stephen wants Jack.
Everybody wants a bad Jack. What can I say?
You've got a 50-50 chance, Stephen. Let's see who it's going to be.
Let's see it happen.
One more time.
Okay. So this is for Team 5.
This is the 15.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be
Ross. So the brothers won't be teaming together.
So it's going to be either Ross with Stephen and me with Jack, or Ross with Jack, a reuniting of the Raw Report, or me with Stephen, the 2 S's.
Well, this splits up 2 winners, though. This might be a good thing. It balances it out a bit.
Okay, then. 2 former draft winners remaining. It's 50-50. Whoever is left here is paired with me, and whoever it lands on is paired with Ross. For the final time, I'm nervous here. Let's spin that
wheel.
50-50.
So who's going to be paired with Ross? It's going to be... Jack.
The color of Raw. It's meant to be.
It's the Raw Report.
This magic.
I didn't get go yet, but me and Stephen, 2 former draft winners, the two-time draft winners are together.
That.
Spinning the wheel just for the sake of it. Yeah, the two-time winners are together. We are going to be a team to be reckoned with.
Oh no. The 2-time winners are paired together, but you're drafting last though, so it's
yeah, but there's half the field available though, so there'll be better picks for us when it comes to this.
What do you make of that, Jack? The 2-time winners are the ones that are stuck together.
It'll be interesting. It'll be very very interesting. I did say the team that I'm a bit worried about was pretty for Jack. I was going to say I've said many a time that I think Ross a bit of a bottle merchant with the draft. He's always kind of shot his load too quick. He's been up near the top and he's kind of fell his way. But maybe I can get him that first draft when he so desperately needs. But before we continue, I will just do our final rundown of our teams. Number 1, Grant and Gary. Number 2, Strack and Sarah. Number 3, Robert Shaw from the Listeners League and David Hockney. Number 4, Ryan Gallagher and David Campbell. Number 5, Ross and Jack, the Raw Report's finest. And last, 2-time winners of Stephen Wilson and Scott McLeod.
So technically, we're 4-time winners.
You just need that one more for that 5-time.
Half time.
Or you could just say you're a pair of 2-timing bastards.
Oh, shut up. But I think these are some solid teams here.
Yeah, I'm happy with those.
The wheel could be a cruel mistress, but this time around, I think it's worked out for a lot of people here. And I look forward to how this is going to go now. I think we've explained it before, but we'll explain it again for those at the back. That I believe this Friday, same time that this started, 6 p.m. British time, that it shall be the 3 of us once again here live. And we will be texted in by our team members and by other teams who they want at which time. So they'll be watching along live, like your classic sports show, but better because you've got us. And so I would say it's not going to be as chaotic because there's less people. I think it's still going to be chaotic, if not more so, because this is a tag team situation. This is the Teddy Long of draft seasons.
I can't wait. I can't wait. It'll be interesting, the dynamic we're going to have, because also we'll be able to have these tag teams on our show every week as well, and how it coexists, how they manage to work draft strategies together. Oh, I'm buzzing.
Yeah, like I said before, you could have like a Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. You get one person carrying the team, or you'll have like an Usos style tag team where they're so in sync with each other.
Mm-hmm. So it's like they finish each other's sandwiches. And I'm surprised that it didn't end up that one of us, like I didn't get paired with Dave or you, Jack, or neither you two got paired together, because it came close at the end. I really thought that would have been an interesting dynamic for the show, but no, all three of us every week we've got our own teams to be rooting for.
I'll say that's a good thing, because if we did get teamed together, we get accused of SDL bias. So I guess it's all right that we're not together.
Miss Fortune is smiling down on us today. I think it's better that we're all split apart on this instance.
Maybe so. And so we thank you all for tuning in for this very special live edition. I hope everybody who got paired is happy with who they got paired with. I disagree with Derek Campbell that me and Stephen Wilson will get in each other's way. I think if anything, we both know how important it is and what it takes to win. So if anything, we would be gelling together, we'll fit together like glue. Or whatever, I can't think of a good expression. But we thank you for tuning in, and we hope you keep up with all future episodes of SDL this season, and check out all our past episodes on our back catalogue on all good Android podcast sites. That'd be Anchor, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your podcasts. Or you can get The Winners Show with me, with Grant McRobbie, and myself, with East Meets West Cup and everything going on in that newest Japanese pro wrestling. We've got our feature show talking about Drew McIntyre and the Rumble. We've got a show coming up looking back at TakeOver Rival 6 years on. We've got all sorts of stuff going up. Our Central show, we go about all the news and everything going on. Obviously, we stream this on YouTube. Quiz Showdown 7, Royal Rumble edition, went up yesterday as we're recording this. So check that out. See if I could walk out as Quiz Showdown champion and retain my title as Royal Rumble quiz winner. Check out the conspiracy theories and the Book It tournament where Ross and Jack went head to head in the first round of that. Will they be able to put those differences aside for the season? Who knows? And also join our community page. Follow us on Twitter at Suplex Street to keep up with everything going on. And tune back in, same place, same draft time, same draft channel on Friday for the selection show. My favourite time every season. And I'm sure you guys agree with me.
Oh, aye. Can't wait.
And thank you once again to Daniel Campbell for providing us with the Wheel of Doom to spend and producing this lovely edition of Saturday Draft Live. But until then, we'll see you on Friday for the selection show. Thank you for joining us.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Eat, Sleep, Suplex, Retweet.